Getting all around my room, my world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a video here on the Water Juice channel, and today is the day. It's the day that all college football fans have been waiting for. It is the release of the EA Sports College Football 25 Dynasty trailer. That's right, we've got, I think, around 6 minutes of content to watch, and then we've got, I heard rumors that it was like 18,000 words or something on the blog posts. I don't know what's going to happen in this video, but it's going to be one massive video. I was debating whether to do just the trailer reaction and then do a separate video for the blog post, since for some reason the blog post is like a lot of content in that. But then I was like, you know what? I might as well just get all of it in one single video so you guys don't have to click on different videos to try to find all my reactions to this stuff. So it's just going to be one jam-packed mega video of all this Dynasty content, which, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know is the heart and soul of this channel, Dynasty content, or franchise content if you're in the professional leagues. Just becoming a coach or an owner of a team and building the roster, trading for players, in this case, recruiting new high school talent, and just doing that. That's the heart and soul of this channel. I don't really do Ultimate Team. I don't really do online. I do offline against the CPU, building teams and seeing how they do. That's the crux of the channel, if you ever wanted to know. So this kind of content is right up my alley. And you already know how excited I am for this college football game to come out this month now at this point, on the 16th for early access and the 19th for worldwide release. So I am over the moon. I'm not even over the moon. I'm over Saturn excited for this. So I cannot wait. I'm finally home when they dropped a trailer. It feels like every time they've dropped a trailer, whether it's the sights and the sounds or just the overall reveal trailer, I feel like I'm always gone on the day that they do that. But today, I'm here. I'm home, and I'm ready to get it done right as it dropped. Well, not right as it dropped. It's been out for a couple hours now, but I'm home in a reasonable time to get this up to you guys so you can see it. So what's going to happen is we're going to watch the entire trailer, about 6 minutes. I'm probably not going to, I'm certainly not going to pause it, but I'm not going to talk as much, and then once that's over, we'll go back through and talk about some important things, and then we'll go to the blog post and discuss whatever kind of crazy content is over there, because I have absolutely no idea. So I hope you guys are excited. If you are, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Certainly subscribe to the channel, because when the game comes out in July, well, on the 16th, there's going to be so much college football content. I might not even sleep for a couple of days, because I'm going to be pumping out so much college football content that you guys won't be able to breathe. That's how much content's going to be coming into your faces from my channel. So be ready for all of that. You don't want to miss it. Subscribe to the channel, because it's going to be absolutely legendary. This is going to be, this will top any other Madden release or any other video game release on the channel ever. This is going to be the game on the channel. I know that Madden's coming out the very next month, and we're going to play Madden, and we're going to do content on Madden, but this is going to be the game. This is going to be the game on the channel. So if you like college football and you're excited for this game, subscribe to the channel, because I got a lot of crazy ideas. With all that being said, it's time to get to this reaction, because already this video is going to be long, and I don't want it to go like over an hour, but it probably will. Who knows? We're going to be here for as ever long it takes. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's react to the Dynasty reveal trailer. Okay, so here we are at the official EA Sports College Football YouTube page, reacting to the Dynasty deep dive. I have not seen any of the content yet. I have retweeted the actual video on Twitter, but I didn't actually go and watch it. I just retweeted it. so that it would be ready for me to watch again once we get through this. But this is going to be live reactions. First time I've seen any of this stuff. I'm super excited. Like I said in the intro, I'm probably not going to pause it. I'm certainly not going to pause it. But I'm going to try to not talk as much so we can just kind of get the full video and I can absorb all of it. And then we can come back and we can talk through it afterwards like we normally do. So here we go. I guess let's get it started. About 6 minutes. I don't know what they're going to talk about for 6 minutes, but we're going to find out. Here we go. Dynasty Deep Dive. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, Kirk Herbstreit here with EA Sports College Football 25, back for another deep dive. This time we're talking about everyone's favorite mode, Dynasty. Online Dynasty in College Football 25 can accommodate up to 32 teams, and you can play with friends for up to 30 seasons. Today we'll take a closer look at the new 12-team college football playoff, recruiting, the transfer portal, and a ton of customization options to make your program unique.
Okay.
College football has seen seismic changes over the past few years. And in EA Sports College Football 25, you can experience this new landscape while building your program the way you want. The 2024 season marks the debut of the new 12-team college football playoff.
I like that
and
they
you
have
can
Ohio
play
State
it
and
first
Oregon
in the game.
I don't like that
months
Oregon
before
beat
the
Ohio
real
State.
thing. You could be the first coach to lead your school through the new 12-team playoff and hoist the college football playoff trophy. Recruiting is the lifeblood of college football, and in a world of unlimited transfers, managing your dynasty roster has never been more important. Evaluate your needs and opportunities for talent upgrades at the start of each season. The best way to build a powerhouse is to recruit through the high school ranks. So let's fill up your recruiting board. Each year, over 3,500 high school recruits are generated from all over the country, with certain regions representing real-world hotspots for blue-chip talent, like South Florida and Metro Atlanta. Do research to find recruits that best fit your program and determine who you can realistically land. A recruit's interest in your school is decided by 14 different pitch grades
14?
like proximity to home, playing time, and brand exposure. So you'll need to discover how your program's pitch grades align with your recruit's desires, in addition to scouting for talent. Some players have a deal breaker requirement, and if your program cannot provide, the recruit will lock you out. Deal breakers also drive a player's decision to enter the transfer portal. Monitor at-risk players and get one last chance to convince your favorites to stay.
I was wondering if you're going to
Track
get a chance
your
to keep them
recruits
stay.
as they narrow down their top schools. Pitch a prospect to gain more interest, and then set up school visits when the timing is right. It's crucial to remain in their top 10, then 8, then 5, to finally be part of their top 3. As a recruit trims down to the top 8, you can attempt to increase your appeal. If your school doesn't have exactly what the prospect is looking for, you can try to sway their opinion in your favor. Plan visits that elevate a recruit's experience, like pairing a quarterback visit with a wide receiver visit at the same time. It's crucial to keep an eye on the transfer portal when it opens in the off-season to round out your roster with talent you couldn't land from recruiting. Add portal prospects to your board just like you would with recruiting, but expect quick decisions as transfers have a shorter timeline to land a new home. Conference realignment is a hot topic in college football. And with custom conferences in EA Sports College Football 25, Dynasty is yours to control. See what a 20-team super conference might look like, or revert to the traditional conference alignment.
No, why would we do that?
Shape the conference size and membership, and set custom conference rules, set up divisions, and more. Once you've settled your conference options, it's time to select your team. Begin with a highly ranked team and dominate at the top with repeat recruiting and playoff success.
I like that trophy.
Or build from the ground up with a smaller program and prove you have what it takes to go from an unknown to postseason favorite. We can't talk about your dynasty without talking about your starting job. Start as an offensive or defensive coordinator and climb the ranks to head coach. Or take over a program as the head coach right away.
I do have to pause it really quickly. I noticed something just then. This is the only time I'm going to pause. In their big reveal trailer, their big Dynasty trailer, they've got the coach clipping through his own shirt. I understand that this is like hard to not do in a video game. But in your trailer, you pick this clip where the coach is like clipping through his own t-shirt sleeves. I think that's kind of funny. Okay, I'm not going to pause it.
As an offensive or defensive coordinator and climb the ranks to head coach. Or take over a program as the head coach right away. Choose from one of the 3 base coaching types to start. Your coach type will determine what coaching skill tree you start with. From there, the abilities you acquire as you progress will determine what kind of coach you develop into. Unlock additional skill trees with better abilities. Or, if you build up multiple skill trees, you can unlock hybrid trees that leverage a more diverse skill set. The coaching carousel is an important part of every coach's journey. Whether you're the head man at your dream school or working your way up, the carousel is your way of fielding offers from other programs. Head coaches in Dynasty can actively manage their coordinator positions. So if one of your staff takes a job elsewhere, or you decide to cut ties for other reasons, you can use the carousel to replace them. Remember, even the greatest coaches need support, and every coach has a unique skill tree. It's important to think about how you want to build your staff, whether that's doubling down on your existing strengths to max out your benefits or seeking out balance for a well-rounded staff. Choose wisely. The decisions you make here will matter to your program's success and your coach's progression. The benefits of coach talents are stackable. So if your head coach and defensive coordinator have the same ability, the impact for that ability will be greater.
That's cool. I like that.
Well, that's it for today's deep dive into Dynasty mode in EA Sports College Football 25. To make it game day every day.
Okay, that didn't really feel like 6 minutes of content, but that went by pretty quickly. I even paused it, and it went by really quickly. Okay, so let's go all the way back to the beginning, because there's a lot I want to talk about here. Okay, so first off, let's start with when does it get interesting? It gets, well, I mean, all of this is interesting, but I like this right here. The new home screen, the new UI, looks pretty good. I don't know why we're like, there we go. I don't know why we were loading there. I like this a lot. This, and I'm assuming this is going to look, they're going to customize it to be whatever your favorite team is. So obviously mine will look different than everybody else. Well, unless you're a Ohio State fan. I'm going to pick Ohio State, so mine will probably have a bunch of Buckeye stuff on here. But if you're a USC fan, it'll look like this. If you're a Notre Dame fan, it'll look like Notre Dame. If whatever team if you're a fan of freaking Iowa, I don't know why you would be a fan of Iowa, but if you're a fan of Iowa, it would look like have a bunch of Iowa stuff on there. But I like the menu; it looks pretty good. So I'm assuming this is going to be the home screen option. I like you got game modes, training, create and share thing is going to be where I am excited for, because that's probably going to be all the team builder stuff. Like that's where you go and you download your team builder stuff. I'm assuming from when you make it from the website. But the share portion, does that only mean sharing teams, or does that mean sharing rosters? Can we go back and can we create other rosters? Can we create historic rosters? Can we recreate just made-up rosters full of made-up players? Like, I need to know all this kind of stuff. I don't know if that'll be in the blog or whatever. Maybe it won't even be in the blog. Maybe I'll just have to find out my own way when I get my hands on the game. But I know it's tricky because of the whole NIL stuff. I know you're not going to be able to change players currently in the game, but can you make just custom rosters? That's the big question. Probably not, but I feel like you should be able to. Probably not, though. And then we go to, what's the next thing we want to get to? I do want to point out one thing. Where was the Ohio State? That was like the very beginning, wasn't it? There was a Buckeye run out I saw. I don't know where it was. I like this, though. I don't know why it's taking a long time to load. I like this, though. This is cool. I like the bracket. It makes everything look pretty clean. It shows you the scores. It shows you their record. It shows you the seed that they were. I like this, especially because Ohio State made the championship game. I don't like that Ohio State lost to Oregon. That doesn't make any sense. That would never happen, even though I know it happened in the past. It would never happen in the playoffs. And so I like that. And they beat Texas, too. And they beat Ole Miss. Oh, Ole Miss beat Georgia. That's kind of crazy. But I do like that Ohio State made the championship game, as they should. Then you've got all of this different transfer portal stuff. And I was wondering if you were going to be able to do transfer stuff during the season, but Herb Street said that it opens at the end of the season, in the off season it opens, the transfer portal opens. So I'm assuming you can't touch the transfer portal during the regular season, just in the off season. I don't know, maybe that's not true, maybe I misheard what he said, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said, where it opens in the off season. I like the new selection screen, giving you a helmet and all that kind of stuff, and you saw the other stuff on the side previously. Why would we ever want to go back to previous bowl or previous conference schedule or conference conference realignment stuff? I do like that they have a whole custom celebration for when you win the national title. I don't like that it's Michigan that wins it. This is just gross. They cheated. But I do like that there's a whole custom celebration and stuff. Makes it feel different. And the biggest thing that I was worried about with these auto-generated faces and stuff, everybody knows that in Madden and in previous NCAA games, the auto-generated faces, they don't necessarily look like kids. Like in Madden specifically, the players that come out of college, they don't look like college kids. They look like 40-year-old men. I mean, some of those auto-generated scans have gray hair. Some of the offensive line builds have these big, beefy, massive bowling ball heads. That's just not a human body. That's just not what a human body looks like. And they're old, they got wrinkles, and they got, like, it's crazy. And even in NCAA 14 and 13, some of the scans, auto-generated scans and stuff, did not look like high school kids. They looked like 30, 40-year-old men. So I'm excited, and when they were going through all the different recruiting and transfer portal stuff, it looked for the most part, like a lot of the scans and a lot of the generated faces that aren't like resembling a real person, they looked like teenagers. They looked like high school kids, which is what you want. That ruins the immersion when you're recruiting somebody and he's got a 5 o'clock shadow and he looks like he's got a mortgage and he's got freaking 2 kids. Like, that ruins the immersion a little bit. So this guy actually looks like a high schooler that's going to be recruited. He actually looks like that. His facial features are resembling a high schooler, which is good. So I'm glad that they changed that. Even with the next thing, where's the next guy at? Here he is. This guy, look at how young this guy looks, like a younger guy. He's got a nice hairline that's not like receding or anything. He looks like a younger kid. So I'm glad that they actually put some detail into that and made it seem like, and this kid looks pretty young too. I'm excited to see some of the auto-generated names and maybe we get some classic names, because there's been some classic names in both the old NCAA games and in Madden in recent history. The auto-generated names have been hilarious sometimes, so I'm excited to see what kind of names we get in this game. But the kids, they actually look like kids, which is a big deal, because you don't want to ruin your immersion by recruiting a guy who's supposed to be 17 years old, 18 years old, and he looks like a freaking guy with 11 kids, and he's been beaten through the bushes by his wife. So that's exciting. I like that. And this is all talking about, I'm assuming this is talking about the recruiting class and the transfer portal, because this is a big portion of it. They're going to go to the big school, or the big states that have a lot of high school recruiting, like Florida, Georgia, California, Ohio, Texas. A lot of these, the big money states that have the massive amounts of recruiting. So I'm glad that they're focusing on that. And NCAA 14 did that too. All the NCAA games have gone with the big blue chip states that I just mentioned that have had like the best recruits coming out of it. But you can get some people from Idaho or Montana or Kansas, or like you can get some people from the random states, but most of the time it's from the big time states. And this was in the game before, the whole grading system on the motivations. That was in the game before, but it looks like it's going to be more of a kind of a dance, I guess. Like you gotta be careful with, oh, I gotta make sure that I promise this guy playing time, and he's gonna hold on to that. He's not gonna just forget about that once you get him into the team. That's gonna factor into his transfer. Is he gonna be on the transfer list? If you promise him playtime and then he's a backup for a year, that's gonna be an interesting little thing to try to battle against. And it looks like it's gonna be. And this guy looks like a decent younger kid. I don't know what his actual age is. It doesn't tell me. He just says high school, so I'm assuming 17 or something. I like this. This is the transfer portal stuff, I think, right? This is all the prospects that are in the transfer portal. Oh no, this is just the prospect list. I thought this is the transfer portal, but this is just regular prospect stuff. So this is the portion of the thing where Herb Street said that the transfer portal would open in the off season. So I'm wondering if that's actually going to be true, or if you can kind of dabble in it during the regular season. The big lockout thing, that's nothing new. And here is your summary of all that kind of stuff. And it says players. I like that it keeps you in the loop on who's at risk, so you can kind of like keep an eye on it. And it looks like Cincinnati's in big trouble. They got a 91 overall D tackle who's probably, assumingly, their starter, at massive risk of transferring. And their backup young running back is in risk of transfer, so they're in some trouble. But I do like that it keeps you in the loop for that. That's nice. Decided to stay. So you can... I was wondering if you were going to be able to persuade the kids to stay. Like you could back in the old NCAA, you could persuade the kids to not go to the NFL. You could persuade them to come back. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. So I'm excited that they brought that back, and now they've added it. I'm assuming you can also do it for keeping them from the NFL, but you can also now do it for keeping them on the team, not letting them transfer. But I'm guessing that if you promise them something and then you don't follow up on it, they're not going to like you, and maybe their ratings go down, or they transfer again the next season. I don't know. I'm also curious, how many transfers are you going to be able to have? Like, is a player, how many transfers is one player going to have? Can a player transfer their freshman year and then transfer their sophomore year? And then, like, can they transfer every single year? Is that possible? I guess we'll have to find out. We'll have to do some experimenting. But this is just more recruiting stuff. You can send to the house, or send the house, not send to the house, send the house. You can do a hard sell, a soft sell, and it looks like you have 50 of these little timer things. 50, I'm guessing they're just like the version of points that you have. So you can send a bunch of different combinations of points and stuff. What's this? This is just like scheduling stuff. And then sending when you want to send a recruit on a visit. Talking about their stuff. All this stuff was in the old games, so we don't have to go through that much. But you definitely want to be in their top 3, that's for sure. This is the transfer portal. See, this kid actually looks like a high schooler or a young freshman in college. So this is the actual transfer portal. So it looks like all of this is open. It tells you their rating. I'm assuming this is their grade from when they were a high school recruit, not what they are now. I don't know. It could just be what they are now. It tells you what their rank actually is. I'm guessing this is what they were ranked when they were recruited. I wouldn't think that it'd be their rank in terms of all quarterbacks in college football. That wouldn't make any sense. But it says that you need a quarterback. So Florida needs a quarterback. So they need to recruit somebody or transfer somebody in. And it looks like you got a guy from Maryland transferring out. You got a guy from a bunch of different schools transferring out. There's even more down here, but you can't scroll down, obviously. So very interested, very, very interested in this recruiting, the transfer portal stuff. I'm super excited about the transfer portal stuff. I cannot wait to see how it works. I hope it's not like weird and glitchy. I don't think it will, but I hope it's not. Then you got wide receivers, and you can go by different positions. You can go by recommended or all kind of stuff. You can sort by different ways. Very excited to see how this all gets put into place. And then somebody from App State's transferring out. That's kind of sucky. Then you got customizations options. This is when they were talking about doing the different conferences and stuff. Really, it's only the Big 2 with the Big 10 and the SEC. That's really all it is. I do like this little screen here. It's an updated version of what it used to be with the updated logos. It makes it feel a little bit more clean and stuff. I like that. Looks good. And this is what I was talking about earlier with just the helmet, but they give you all the stats and stuff as well. I like that it shows you the helmet and all that kind of stuff. And this just makes it all look more clean than it used to look. It was a little bit more of a chore to choose what team you wanted to be and choose what conference you wanted teams to go into. Now it looks like it's a little bit more seamless, at least in theory it is. And you can obviously, this is all same stuff you could do before. Choose how many games in the conference you want, if you want divisions, if you want what stadium you want it to be in, all that kind of stuff. That was in the previous versions of the game as well. And then this is obviously SEC stuff. So this trophy was looking pretty cool. I did like the look of this trophy. That's a pretty cool looking trophy. I'm assuming this is the ACC trophy. I don't even know, but because Clemson's winning it, so it's the Fiesta Bowl. Is it the Fiesta Bowl trophy? Because they've got the Fiesta Bowl patch on there. I don't know, but they're in the MAC. Why is Clemson in the MAC? I have no idea what's going on in this. I don't know what these people, the devs did with the trailer footage, but they put Clemson in the MAC and then got them to the Fiesta Bowl and won the championship. I have no idea what's happening there. I didn't even clock that the first time. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so this is everybody. So this is national. And I like how they were going through teams that are on the lower end side of things. Then they scrolled through Minnesota. That made me smile a little bit. I like that. I'm really excited. We'll talk about this in a second. But I hope that there is some coaching customization that we haven't really seen. Where's the stupid guy at? There he is. I'm hoping that there's more face customization here because usually you don't get, and I have heard at least for player customization, there's a ton of different like skin tones and hair and facial features and all that kind of stuff. I hope that's the same for coaching as well because in the past, creating your coach has been kind of just boring. Like you don't get a lot of customization with the coach. So I'm hoping that there is a lot of customization. It looks like you got a lot of different info. Then you've got your whole appearance tab, and then you've got your whole apparel tab. So I'm hoping that both of these are a little bit more in depth. But you can obviously choose the alma mater. You could do that before. Offensive, defensive playbooks. I'm assuming, this is because they're switching. I was going to say the last name thing is blacked out, but it's because they're switching from last name to offensive playbook when I paused it. But you got pipeline state, so what state do you want to have your biggest recruiting pitch from? So obviously I would probably choose Ohio. Adaptive AI, which is going to be interesting to see how that works out. The no-huddle style, do you want to be like a pro-style offense? Do you want to have like a quick strike offense? Like what kind of stuff do you want? And then this was already in the game previously, offensive, defensive aggressiveness. But we'll get to this in a sec. We'll get to the other stuff in a second. Where is that freaking dude at? There he is. Let's get a better little look at him. So this is huge. The fact that you can choose to have your jersey cut up the top. This is the Eddie George, Ezekiel Elliott style jersey. I like this a lot. This gives me huge hope for the customization options on players. Because if you can see the dude's six-pack, that is huge. And I noticed that, that's why I wanted to find the earlier clip of the Buckeyes when they were running out, because there was a guy on the Ohio State team that had it too. And that's where I first noticed it. But they're showing this man promptly in the front of screen. So the fact that you can choose to have your jersey, a player's jersey, cut to the like halfway with the pads, this is huge. This is absolutely huge. I'm assuming you're going to be able to do it with your Road to Glory player as well. Why wouldn't you be able to? But this is massive, having to be able to do this. Usually in Madden, at least, you were only able to do this in like the yard or in whatever Superstar KO or whatever it is. So now having this in an actual like Dynasty is amazing. I like this a whole lot. This is really good. Really, really good. And then this is what I was talking about when I paused it when we were going through it. The one clip they showed of the coach on the field has him clipping his arms through his sleeves of his shirt, which is just hilarious. That's a total EA thing to have in their trailer. Hilarious. Then you've got you can do your whole like not really a Road to Glory, but like kind of a I don't know what else to call it. Like a journeyman, I guess you could call it, a journeyman series where you start as a coordinator, then you build up your resume, you get a head coaching job, maybe you don't do well at the head coaching job, you go back to either a lower end school or you go back to being a coordinator at a bigger school. Like that adds a lot more options to different content we can make on the channel. I like that a whole lot. Then you can choose, obviously, if you want to be a motivator, a recruiter, or a tactician. That's nothing new. But the thing that is new is that once you choose this, you can only go down this skill tree. Like, you can't, if you choose to be a motivator, you can't then go through and become a great recruiter as well and max out that tree or max out the tactician tree. You can only max out one of these trees. So you have to be very specific on what you want to do. I would assume that you would want to be a recruiter and max out the recruiting tree, because that would give you like the best chances to get the best recruits and make your team as good as possible. But I'm sure there's going to be strategies and benefits to each different one. So, I mean, it's whatever you guys want to be. I don't know what I'm going to be in my first one. I'm probably a recruiter, but maybe I'll be a tactician. I have no idea. I'm sure they all give you benefits and stuff. And then this looks pretty cool with the different coaching abilities. I like this. And they did say that it stacks. If your head coach and your defensive coordinator have the same ability, then it stacks and it gives you even more of a boost. So that's huge. I like that a lot. That sounds really, really cool. This is a nice little. This feels like an RPG or something, with like a skill tree, or like this. This doesn't really give me vibes of a football game kind of skill tree, but I like the look of this. This looks kind of cool. I don't like that it's this team that they're using, but I do like that this looks pretty clean. I like that a lot. It looks pretty good. Then you get more stuff. This is for the head coach, offensive coordinator, defense coordinator. You can do all that kind of stuff like normal. Scheme guru. So this is the tactician tree. I think we were in the motivator tree last time. So this is what it would look like with the scheme tree, or with the tactician tree. And then this is like normal. You sign your contract. You get to see what the school has done in the past. Obviously, you got the Jameis Winston year where they won the national title. Then you've got all kinds of bad seasons for Florida State until they obviously had a really, really good season this past season in real life. But then Jordan Travis got hurt and they suck. So, they didn't suck. I think they won their game, but they didn't make the playoffs. But that's cool that they added that back in. I assume they would. Then you've got your coaching carousel, which is really, really cool. I did notice in one of the things, here it is, it should be right, yeah. You can send your offensive defensive coordinators to the NFL. Well, you can't send them there, but they can get jobs in the NFL, which is really, really cool. You can send your coordinators to be head coaches, or they can become probably head coaches in the NFL, or maybe offensive coordinators. That's pretty cool. I like that addition. I don't think that was the thing in NCAA 14. And then you've got guys that are retiring. It doesn't tell me what age they are. It says how many talents they have, but it doesn't tell me how old they are. I would assume if they're in their 60s or something, if they're retiring, I would guess. Or I don't know why you'd be retiring if you're not that old. But then you got coach abilities, all that kind of good stuff. What was this again? This looks like the Washington Commanders. It looks like the football team when they were the Washington football team. That looks like their logo, but I think was that Western Michigan or something. I want to get to... Where's that screen at? What's this screen I want to get to? Okay, here we go. What is this? Oh, this is when you can choose to hire staff. So I wonder if you can... Did Herb Street say if you could poach coaches from other schools? Because this is what it looks like. Because he's like FAU, this Miles Okafor guy. So it's an offer. It says offer coach. So I'm guessing you can offer a coach or a coordinator or something, or a head coach, it looks like, from other schools to bring them to your school. That's pretty interesting. I like that a lot. And then showing some more on-field stuff with Florida, some more XP growth and all that kind of good stuff. And that's really where we wrap up the deep dive. And it shows Dylan Raiola here. That's funny that they show Dylan Raiola because he was like, where is he going to go? I think he transferred like 3 different schools until he landed at Nebraska. That's pretty funny that they ended with him. Okay, so that is the full trailer breakdown. Now we're going to go and take a look at this freaking blog post, because apparently it's just like massive with so much content. So I'm curious to even like take a look at it. So let's go look at it. Okay, so here we are. We are at the Dynasty Deep Dive. We are on the official page, the official EA Sports website, and we are going to go through this. It's got like 18,000 words, I guess. I don't know. That's what I was hearing. So obviously, you can build a dynasty. When we were in the early stages of designing Dynasty mode, we talked with the members of the community, That's good. College football experts and coaches read hundreds of blog posts and tweets and watched countless wish list videos. I wonder if they watched any of like the YouTubers that I watch, like C4 and all those kind of people. I wonder if they watched those kind of stuff. We knew how important Dynasty was to our community. It's the backbone of the community. We heard loud and clear that our players wanted a deep experience that is representative of current college football landscape where roster management and talent acquisition are at the forefront of a successful program. That is what we want. They did listen. That's true. They did listen. With this in mind, we anchored our experience around 3 core pillars: build your coach, build your program, and deliver the world of college football. I like the sound of those 3 things. So in building your coach, this encompasses the decisions you make on your coaching journey to the top of the college football world, whether that's starting as a coordinator at a small school and making a name for yourself before getting the first head coaching job, or starting as a head coach at your dream school. Every decision you make on your journey matters. I like that stuff matters. Everything counts. Everything matters. I like that a lot. Build your program. As the old saying goes, to win at college football, it's not the X's and the O's. It's the Jimmies and the Joes. Recruiting is the lifeblood of college football, and having a consistent winner means you need a roster that is built to reload rather than rebuild, like Ohio State. That all starts on the high school recruiting trail, but in modern college football, roster retention and utilizing the transfer portal are instrumental in your ability to field a championship team. I'm very curious about the transfer portal. I cannot wait to get my hands on it and see just how the transfer portal works and what is all involved in it. I'm so excited for that. So curious. Deliver the world of college football. A lot has changed in college football over the last year. That's saying it mildly, let alone the last 11 years. From the new 12-team college football playoff to conference realignment, we set out to recreate the ever-changing world of college football within Dynasty and provide you with the tools to customize your experience. Underlying our 3 core pillars was one singular motto: satisfy the core community, because this is their game. Beautifully said, beautifully worded, something that Madden does not take into account whatsoever. Satisfy the core community should be stamped on Madden's forehead, because they need to learn that they need to satisfy the core community. I like the screen. This looks like the home screen of Dynasty mode. Looks pretty cool. I like that. So then you got your build your coach stuff. So it looks like, I'm not going to read all this, but it looks like this is just going through I'll read some of this stuff down here. So all of our research and discussions, if you want to read this, by the way, just go and go to the EA Sports College Football 25 website and you'll be able to find it. All of our research and discussions led us to build a new coach experience centered around 3 goals. Just like the real world, no coach could be great at everything. I beg to differ. I think coaches can be great at everything. I mean, there's some coaches, some of the greatest of all time, that are great at everything, but it's maybe you don't think they are. That's whatever. A rock, paper, and scissor relationship, scissors, between coach types with no dominant progression path. Okay. Coordinators and how you build your staff matter. I like that. So if you get some dummy coaches as your coordinators, your offense and defense are going to struggle because they're dummies. Yeah. So that's going to be very cool to kind of adjust and find the right pairings for your coordinators. Then you've got coach progression. I like this guy's beard. He's got a nice strong beard going. So here we go. There are 4 Coach XP goal categories that can be single game, weekly, season, or career goals. So you got the draft. Pro draft goals based on which round your player is drafted in. For example, player drafted in the first round gets you a certain amount of XP. I like that. That's cool, because obviously you want to have your players be successful in the NFL. The game, individual game goals that range from a single play result like interception and rushing touchdown, so you'll get XP for all that, to a full game result. For example, beat your rival, beat a top 25 team, and win a national championship. That's pretty standard, pretty normal. You'd obviously get XP for doing all that kind of stuff. And then there's recruiting. Determined by your success on the recruiting trail, recruiting goals can be specific to a single prospect, for example, sign a 5-star, or full season, like sign the best recruiting class in the country. All pretty standard, normal XP goals. Then you've got stats, weekly goals like ranked in the top 10, season stat goals, for example, 4,000 team passing yards, and ranked top 5 in offensive yards, and career goals like win 5 national titles. So all this is pretty standard. I like this. It's all the normal XP goal scenarios that you would want and that you can keep track of. I like that. The number of times you've completed a goal and your progress towards goal completion can be viewed in the Coach XP goals screen, which can be accessed via the Coach tab in the Dynasty Hub. We have also added 5 progression speed settings, so you can modify how fast... Ooh! So if you want to make this the hardest rebuild possible, you can lower that tab all the way to the bottom and make it super hard to get XP. That could factor into a whole new realm of hardest rebuilds possible. I like that a lot. But crucially, I do like that you can keep track of all of this stuff. Like, this guy's completed 198 first downs. He's done 6 fumble recoveries, 4 interceptions. He's got 9 wins, beaten the rival 3 times. Like, I like the idea of I'm a big, like, records guy. I like records. I like keeping track of things like that. I like seeing, who was on my team 10 years ago that set this record, and now this person all these years later has beaten the record. Or I like stuff like that's kind of my jam. I like that kind of stuff. And the fact that you can keep track of all this in your game goals, like how many times you've beat a rival, that's huge. I like that. So you can showboat to your rival and say, I beat you 19 times. I like that a lot. Each time you complete a goal in-game, you'll receive a notification in the top left corner of the screen. The notification will describe the completed goal and XP reward. So instead of being like a whole bar on the center of the screen, it's just moved to the left corner. That's pretty cool. I like that. After completing a game or advancing a week, you'll receive an XP summary screen showing your progression to the next level. That's pretty box standard, pretty normal. Coach archetypes. So this is probably the traits. Yeah, this is the motivator, the recruiter, and the tactician stuff. Okay, so they already talked about how you can't be successful in all things, but I'll just read this first paragraph. In EA Sports College Football 25, we are introducing a new archetype-based coach ability system. You can think of this similar to your traditional RPG classes, where all of your party members have a specific class, archetype, and role. Ultimately, in order for your team to be successful, all players in your party must do their job and work together. Our system is no different. So that's kind of what I was comparing it to when I saw that one screen. It looked like an RPG where you just build your person up in a certain category, and then you have to hope that other people around you are good in other categories. It's going to be very interesting to see which one is maybe slightly more overpowered than normal or than the other ones. Maybe they're all pretty even. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. How do I upgrade my archetype and what does it do? Each archetype has a set of prerequisites and objectives that must be completed in order to purchase them. For example, in order to become an elite recruiter, you must spend 50 coaching points in the recruiting archetype and sign 2 top 5 recruiting classes. Ooh. So you gotta be like, obviously, if you want to be an elite recruiter, you gotta get some top classes. So that's gonna be pretty tricky for some of those small schools to get some top 5 recruiting classes. That's gonna take a while. I like that. Okay, what's that say? See you. Your active archetype is automatically determined. If you own the program builder or CU archetypes, they will always be your active archetype regardless of how many coach points you've spent in the other archetypes. If you do not own these archetypes, your active archetype... I'm saying archetype a lot. That's pretty crazy. Okay, so here's the screen. How do the abilities work? Once you own an archetype, you can purchase the abilities within it using coaching points. In College Football 25, we are introducing more than 50 coach abilities. Each ability can have up to 4 tiers, and every tier has a purchase cost associated with it. Okay. No longer is a coach great at recruiting across the board. Now coaches will specialize in specific position groups. Ooh! So you can't just be good at every single position. You gotta be specific. Okay. Making your staff composition that much more important. Yep, that's gonna be huge. Are you a quarterback whisperer? Are you great in the trenches and committed to the no-fly zone? Ooh, that's going to be really, really important. So then you've got these 4 different tiers. You've got battery pack, which is tier 1. Offensive players fatigue slower and hurry up. I like that. Caught napping, which is tier 2. Increased delay to defenders looking to the sideline at the snap. On their heels is tier 3. Team composure boost for first downs gained while running the hurry up. And then tier 4 is tipped your hand. Tipped? Chance to see the defender's coverage cell in a hurry up. Ooh. Okay. But then you've got 4 more tiers for, what is this? Oh, this is rowdy crowd stuff. Okay, so we got hater blockers is tier 1, slight reduction in crowd noise impact on the road. Teflon is tier 2, significant reduction of crowd noise impact on the road. So you got so tier 1 just a little bit of reduction, but tier 2 is like a massive reduction. Then you've got polished is tier 3. Offense players will commit slightly fewer penalties. I like that. And then clean sheet offense, which is tier 4. Offensive players will commit significant fewer penalties. So obviously you want to be tier 2 and tier 4 and all of this other stuff. Very, very good. All right, so you got another screen here. What about coordinators? Both coordinators and head coaches have the same set of abilities and archetypes available to them, leading to the natural progression from coordinator to head coach. I like that. Do you think that it's going to be possible to be a head coach and then you're not doing so great, but your coordinator's doing really, really well, and they kick you out and you get fired for your coordinator? That'd be pretty hilarious. Your coordinator takes over. Climbing the coaching ladder. Your journey starts when you sign your first coach contract. When creating your dynasty, you will have the option to select whether you want to be a head coach, coordinator, offensive defense coordinator. That's pretty standard. Coordinators have performance expectations just like a head coach. All roles will have full control of recruiting and be able to play both sides of the ball during gameplay. Okay, so I wonder if you would be able to turn that off, because I know some people, if they want to do like a simulation style rebuild, they can just pick like a coordinator and only do offense. I wonder if you can turn off that you play both sides of the ball, or maybe you don't have to. I don't know. Maybe you won't be able to. This says sign here, please. Every time you start a new coaching job, you'll be asked to sign a contract with that school. That's normal. Why wouldn't you be able to? The contract will have a set contract length and performance expectations. Just like in real life, failure to meet those expectations will result in bad things happening. I like that they just said bad things and not being fired. So there's 4 types of contract expectations. Win X amount of games, win a conference championship, make the football playoffs, college football playoffs, and win a national title. That's pretty standard. That's normal. I wonder if there's going to be like sub goals, like sign a 5-star recruit, or you get like a bonus. Like in normal real life contracts, they have like little bonuses, contract bonuses, where if you win so many games, you get like $500,000, or if you recruit the best class in the country, you get $1 million. Like they have little goal. Maybe it's not that much money, but you get little contract goals baked into your contract that get you like so much more money than normal with your normal salary if you complete those objectives. I wonder if that's going to be in the thing, or maybe that's just this stuff. I don't know. And obviously it wouldn't be money, it'd be XP. But that's going to be very interesting to see if that's in there. That's a lot of reading. I'm not going to do all that. Like I said before, if you want to read all this stuff yourself, you can definitely go to this website and go to EA Sports page and find it all for yourself. I do like that they brought this back. I figured that they would. This is pretty normal to see how the team has done in the past. And then you sign your contract down there, and then you go along. So that's pretty normal. What is this? Following the 2021-22 season, two high-profile schools at LSU and USC were looking for new coaches. They were, yep. Both schools, has it only been 21-22 that Lincoln Riley got to USC? I feel like he's been there a lot longer than that. I guess not. Both schools did what nobody saw coming and hired elite head coaches, just elite coaches, from other high-profile schools. Suddenly, other high-profile jobs were unexpectedly available, and the coaching carousel was in full effect. Yeah, so Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley went to LSU and USC. So then Notre Dame and Oklahoma were open. Who took the Oklahoma job? Was it freaking Brent Venables? Is that who took the Oklahoma job? I think that's right. I don't like Brent Venables. In College Bowl 25, and obviously Marcus Freeman took the Notre Dame job. We set out to recreate the chaos that is the college football coaching carousel, along with the domino effect it brings. Instead of happening over a single week, the carousel takes place over the course of 5 weeks, from conference championship week to the end of bowl season, just like the real world. I like that a lot. Additionally, the carousel is now an asynchronous. What is that word? I don't know what this word is. I mean, I like to think of myself as a pretty decent reader of words, but asynchronous? Is that what that word is? Asynchronous? Is it am I stupid? Is it asynchronous? I don't know how to say that word. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's asynchronous experience. I never heard somebody use that word in that sentence before, or in a sentence like that before. Whatever, moving on, where each user can evaluate their offers without the need to wait on someone else. I like that. That way, in your multi-user Dynasty, online Dynasty, the entire carousel experience won't be held up because you're sitting around waiting for your friend to get on and evaluate their job offer only for them to tell you they want to stay at their current job. I like that. So they took in mind people's friends being stupid and not getting online and doing the stuff they need to do. I like that. How does the carousel work? I feel like we all know how the carousel is going to work, but maybe they changed it a little bit. All coach contracts are processed, and schools determine if they want to fire, extend, or let a coach's contract expire. Ooh. If your school has decided to fire or extend you, you'll receive an action item notifying you on the news, or of the news. If you are a head coach, you'll be able to fire your coordinators during this week. Okay, I want to fire everybody every single time. Once you advance the week and arrive in bowl season, the first round of job offers go out. If you received any job offers, you'll be notified via an action item titled View Job Offers. Okay, I like that. If you do not receive any offers, that's going to be awkward. You will have a generic action item titled Coach Carousel. Uh-oh, if you see Coach Carousel, you're going to be in trouble. Pressing the action item will take you to the new Coach Carousel screen where you can view any job offers you have as well as all of the open jobs around the country, which is like normal, how that usually is from the old game. You used to be able to see all the job offers that were available, and if you wanted to go there. Just because you didn't receive any offers in the first week of bowl season, or if you didn't like the offers you received, doesn't mean your carousel experience is over. It takes place over the course of multiple weeks. The first week is just the beginning of it. As schools hire and fire, other jobs will become open like normal. When viewing a job offer, you will see the school's new coach preferences. What happened to their previous coach? Disappeared under some mysterious circumstances. And who the top candidates are for the job. So basically, like normal, you will also see the contract they are offering you and what the contract expectations are. Once you accept an offer, you'll stay with your current school until after the championship game, which is when all job changes are processed. This allows you to take one last ride with your current team and coach any bowl games they play in. That's nice. They allow you to play, if you're playing in a national title game, but you know this is going to be your last season with the team, you can finish that season, play the championship game, hopefully win the championship, and then go right off in the sunset with your new team. There will be a countdown in the top right corner of the Dynasty Hub informing you how many weeks are remaining until you change jobs. Ooh, that's kind of a scary little thing in the top corner. You're like, oh no, I'm changing jobs in like 3 weeks or something. If you accept a head coach position, you'll be able to manage your staff and hire coordinators at your new school during the rest of the carousel period. If you're fired or your contract expired and you do not accept a new job offer before the end of the carousel, you will be automatically placed on a new team. Ooh! Okay, so if you just don't do anything and you get fired or you leave your job and you don't accept any offers before it's over, they'll just put you on a random team. I like that. That might be interesting for like a rebuild. So let's say you start a season or you start a dynasty, you go through the entire dynasty, then you just don't do anything. You don't take another job. You don't get your contract renewed or whatever. Your contract just expires and runs out, and then you don't do anything after that. Then it puts you on a random team, and that's where the rebuild starts. I like that. Put it in the vault. Put it in the vault. That's a good idea. How do schools determine who they want to hire? So each school has a school persona, obviously. Here's their criteria. You've got your level. The higher a coach's level, the more powerful they are and the more abilities they have. Excuse me, you got the hiccups. Schools are always looking for the highest caliber coach they can find. Okay, makes sense. Scheme. Certain schools, like the military academies, want a coach who runs a specific style of offense or defense. Makes sense. Archetype. Schools have a preference on the type of coach they are looking to hire. Just like the real world, blue bloods prefer elite coaches who are a program builder or a CEO. CEO. Pipeline. All coaches have a primary pipeline, which provides a boost in recruiting. We saw that in the editing screen for the coaches. This is meant to simulate an area of the country where they have strong ties and relationships in recruiting. Schools prefer coaches whose primary pipeline is the same as one of the school's recruiting pipelines. Again, makes sense. Coach prestige. A coach's prestige is compared against the school's team prestige. A 5-star program is not going to hire a coach who is mid. The fact that they use the word mid is hilarious to me. I don't know why. I like that. And only a C- coach prestige. So you're not going to be able, if you're a mid head coach, you're not going to be able to go to an Alabama or a Georgia or an Ohio State. You're going to be able to go to a Michigan because they suck. Together, these form an overall school fit score, which is then used to generate a list of candidates for the job. The school will then extend an offer to one of those coaches. I like that. Game theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. It's important to keep in mind the domino effect when you're evaluating whether or not to accept an offer. Just because a job isn't open today doesn't mean it won't be open next week. Okay, so that's good stuff. Managing the staff. Ooh, okay, that's kind of cool. So that's kind of a little taste of what the carousel is going to look like. Managing your staff. All this says, you're fired. You're fired. Like Vince McMahon. That hurt my throat a little bit. Managing your staff starts during conference championship week. During this week, you'll be able to fire in your coordinators. Be careful because this is the only week. Ooh, so the only week you can fire your staff is during conference championship week. Interesting. I thought you'd be able to do that all off season, or I guess not all off season, but like a certain screen you could be able to do it. But I guess it's just during conference championship week. Okay. After this week, you are unable to replace a coordinator unless they are hired away by another school. Wow. So you don't really have a lot of room for error here with the staff. You got to know what you want to do. Your coordinators will not leave unless you fire them or they are hired by another school. That's good. They can't just leave their contract. They're stuck there. Every coordinator has a standard 2-year contract. Once their contract expires, it will be automatically renewed for another 2 years. So if you like your coordinator and you just don't want to be bothered with it, just keep auto-renewing their contract unless they obviously get hired by another school. Of course, if you don't like them, you can always tell them they're fired. If your coordinator has 1 year or less remaining on their current contract, there's a chance they will be poached and leave for another school. If this happens during the carousel, you'll have an opportunity to replace them. Welcome to the team. Starting Bowl Week 1, you can hire new coordinators if you have a new open position. When you go to hire a new coordinator, you'll be presented with a curated list of candidates. So it'll tell you oh, these guys are the best for the job or whatever. He's only a C. He's a D+. Why would I ever want to hire him? And of course, he works with Michigan. That makes sense. Obviously, he's going to be a D+ because they suck. But it looks like you got oh, that's just his pipeline. It's not his where he's from. They still suck. But that's a little taste of what the staff screen is going to look like. Building your program. There is no question that in today's world, roster management and talent acquisitions are at the forefront of college football and building your program. Players can now transfer whenever they want, which is huge, and they have expectations for you and your program. Some are looking to play early, like Quinn Ewers. Others want to win championships and play in big-time games. And stars want to grow their brand beyond the field. NIL is going to be huge. I know it's not going to be called NIL in the game, but NIL is going to be huge. Aligning what you and your program can do for them has never been more important. That is going to be I am so curious and excited for this transfer portal stuff. I cannot wait to see what it is all involved in. That's probably going to be one of the first things I even look at in the game when I get my hands on it, is just the recruiting / transfer portal stuff. I want to know what it's all about. I want to see it. I cannot wait. Yada, 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 all this kind of stuff. Yada, yada, yada. 5-star, 4 stars. We want to know anything and everything about recruiting and program management. This range from how many 5, 4, and 3-star prospects. I like how they don't even count 2-star and 1-star. Nobody cares about those guys. Prospects there are every year, to what makes a California quarterback different from a Florida quarterback. Well, usually Florida quarterbacks are a little bit more crazy. We focused heavily on the different geographic regions and what they're known for. I like that. This is cool. They put a lot of factors into what a player is going to choose, what team he's going to choose to sign with, depending on what factors there are. I like that. Lastly, we spent time talking with our community on what they expected from recruiting and program management. Players like the recruiting in older games because it had depth, yeah, but it was it was also tedious. They said that. On the contrary, the latest iteration was fast, but it was also a little shallow and cold. That's true. I like that. That's fair. I like that. You never actually felt like you were establishing a relationship with the prospect. That's true. You just kind of like robotic, just kind of bring the guys in. You had to manually create your own storylines if you wanted to feel close to the prospect. We wanted to find a way to blend the two so that recruiting felt meaningful and allowed you to build a connection with recruits through discovery while also being conscious of your time each week. So you've got 4 core goals when building a program. Humanize recruits by giving them unique needs and motivations that the player has to discover by interacting with the recruit. So you're still probably going to be able to make your own custom storylines in your headcanon of, oh, I want this player to do this. But you have like a jumping off point now, which is good. Differentiate regions of the country by player caliber, quality, and type of authentically capture high school talent based on historical real-world data. I've been reading way too much. Represent the different resources available to schools, ensuring the top schools can blanket the country, while smaller schools will need to be more targeted with their approach. And make the transfer portal feel authentically unpredictable. Oh my God, I cannot wait for the transfer portal, man. I need to know what it's all about. How much more do I have in this freaking... Oh my God, we got a lot to go. Oh, I got to go quicker than this. We got a lot of content to cover. We got to go a little bit quicker. Okay, so let's get back to where I was. Okay, here we go. So this is all the stuff we were talking about. Staged recruiting. Built around 3 distinct phases: discovery, pitch, and close. Pitch? Just like the real world, every recruit will be in a different stage of their process. Where they are in their process will dictate how you interact with them and the level of engagement they require. Very interesting. So this is my school. Not my school, your school. When we talk about there being 134 ways to play, we talk about more than just on the field gameplay. Every school is graded from D- to A+. Yikes, who's going to be the D- schools? Hopefully Michigan. Across 14 different categories, which comprises their My School grades. These grades define who a program is and what their strengths and weaknesses are. No two programs are the same. And the grades will dynamically change over the course of your dynasty, so that's good. So you can obviously build your program up and get more and more better recruits because your grades are going to be higher. So you've got playing time. I'm not going to read all this because we need to go fast. You've got playing time, playing style, championship contender, program tradition, campus lifestyle, stadium atmosphere, pro potential. We saw all this. This is all the A+, B+, all that kind of stuff we saw in the trailer. Brand exposure, academic prestige, conference prestige, coach stability, athletic facilities, and proximity to home. Each grade has a unique set of grading criteria. Yada, yada, yada. We will see all this in the actual game. This is so much information, man. This is crazy. Like I said, I'm going to link this in the description so you guys can go and read this yourselves. This is super in-depth. Super, super in-depth. Collectively, your My School grades from your team prestige, which can be thought of as your My School GPA. Team prestige grades teams from 0 to 5 stars and half-star increments based on their current My School grades. Very few programs will achieve elite 5-star status. We will do that. And even fewer will be able to maintain it for a prolonged period of time. We're going to. We are absolutely going to. Recruits and where they come from. Each season has more than 3,500 recruits that are generated from across the country. That's really, really big. I like that. Just like the real world, every class is different. Some years have a plethora of great quarterback talent, true, while others have fewer great prospects. That's fair. I like that. So you're going to get generated classes with better, some years are going to have better talent than others. That makes sense. For example, Southern California is known for producing great quarterback talent, while East Texas consistently produces some of the best wide receivers in the country. However, we didn't stop there. We wanted to go deeper. High school talent, yes, East Texas is known for producing great wide receivers, but more specifically, they're known for how big and physical their receivers are. That's true. So as a result, you're going to see bigger and more physical receivers coming out of East Texas, whereas South Florida is going to produce incredibly fast, deep threat receivers who have a smaller size. Let's go! That's huge! So there's going to be like region-specific builds. So you're going to have like the big-bodied dudes coming from Texas and the little small fast guys coming from Florida. I like that a lot. I wonder if there's going to be like big pass rushing studs like the Bosa brothers coming from Ohio. That'd be pretty cool. What a recruit cares about. There are 14 different motivations a recruit can care about, all of which match one-to-one with the My School grades. Yeah, so we know about that. We know about all of that. There is a chance that one of their 3 ideal pitch motivations is also a deal breaker. We learned about deal breakers. That's nothing new. Recruiting pipelines, yada, 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 all that good stuff. Initial interest in top schools. Stage 1 discovery. So this is when you find out about your players. You learn about them. Discovery starts with prospect identification. You can find prospects to recruit from the prospect list. I wonder if there's going to be I don't think it says it here. I wonder if there's going to be like, because in the old game, in NCAA 14, you could put like 35 prospects on your list and then start from there. I wonder if there's going to be a limit on how many prospects you can add, or if there's going to be a 35 or 25 or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it says anywhere. Or maybe you can't even do that this year. I don't know. Prospect identification. You got position, player type, state, minimum star rating, height, weight, handedness, which is only like if he throws right or left. And then interest in your school. Here, it answered my question. Once you find a recruit you're interested in, you can go ahead and add them to your board by pressing X or A, whether on PlayStation or Xbox. Keep in mind that you can only have 35 prospects, so it answered my question. So it's the same as NCAA 14. You can only have 35 guys. Team needs. Yes, we know what team needs are. Recruiting hours are your core currency to spend. So that's what I was talking about with that little like alarm clock thing. So that's your recruiting hours. Very good. So that's how many points you can put in, I'm guessing, to each player. The default maximum is 50 hours, but this can be increased to a maximum of 70 hours within the Always Be Cruton for that position. Always Be Cruton. The recruiting board is where you'll spend the bulk of your time in recruiting. The general layout of the board will be familiar to many. Oh yeah, it looks very similar to the NCAA 14 one, just a little bit more updated, a little bit more clean, but it looks very similar. So this is where you'll be able to see all the different positions, all the players. You can move them up and down. You can see their interest, all that kind of stuff. Same as normal, just a little bit better looking. Then you've got scouting, which is, I'm assuming, what it used to be. Before you start offering scholarships and dedicating your limited recruiting hours and resources to prospects, it is important to make sure you're targeting the right ones for your program. During the preseason, you are only able to scout and offer scholarships. So it is a great time to scout players and ensure you are targeting the right prospects. We are interested in a new scouting system designed to represent the ambiguity and progressive discovery of high school players' skills. Okay. Very interesting. I'm assuming you're gonna, you have like 800 hours, so you can go up to 800 hours by putting all your points into certain players. Prior to scouting a player, you will only be able to see their star rating, their height, their weight, their hometown, their position, their archetype. So just the basics that you would need to know. Nothing of the more detailed stuff. You see question marks on their attributes, abilities, and development trait. Ooh, development trait. Right down there. Okay. Let me zoom in on this. So development trait, what's that say? This trait can be learned only early by purchasing the mind reader ability in the strategic archetype. Okay. Very interesting. I wonder if development traits are how they're going to impact, because I was wondering if they were going to be in the game. Oh, I'm curious about that. Okay. So you've got, each attribute has 4 states of scouting. You got unscouted, partially scouted, mostly scouted, and fully scouted. Okay, pretty good. Pretty basic. Or not basic, that's the wrong word. Pretty normal. How you would expect. Let's see. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. Does it tell me about development traits? A player's development trait is not. When we talked with coaches about identifying a player's development trait, they overwhelmingly said it's an intangible factor that is difficult to identify without a distinct intuition and direct in-person contact with a recruit. As a result of our discussions, the primary time you will take You will unlock a prospect's development trait is on National Signing Day. So you only learn about the development trait on National Signing Day? Is there going to be 2 National Signing Days? Because there technically is in real life. There's like one in December, and then there's one in like February or something. So there's technically like 2 different National Signing Days. However, if you own the mind reader ability, there's a chance you'll learn. So you have to either have the mind reader ability or just learn about it on National Signing Day. But I'm very curious. Is the development trait gonna matter like during the Dynasty, or does it just matter during recruiting? I'm very curious about that. Read all this yourself if you want to. Finding the ideal pitch. So this is 5 recruiting actions are as follows: offering scholarships, searching social media, spend time scrolling through the player's social media to learn a little bit more about them. What if, are you going to be able to get like crazy recruit generations where like there's a player that like sets off fireworks in parking lots of grocery stores? Like what kind of crazy stuff are we going to be able to get? That'd be hilarious. This will also give you a small amount of influence when they see that you like their story. Just be careful not to like an image from 3 years ago. Oh, that's good. This is going to be interesting with the social media stuff, because obviously back in NCAA 14, social media wasn't really as big as what it was. It was there, but it wasn't as influential as what it is nowadays. So that's crazy. I like that. DM the player. What? Message the player directly on social media to start a conversation and learn more information about them. DMs will give you a small amount of influence as you start to build that relationship. You can slide in DMs? I can slide into a student's DMs? What? Dr. Disrespect? That's wild. Oh my god, that's crazy. I like that a lot. Okay, that's really cool. Contact friends and family. Make a few phone calls to the player's family and close friends to learn a lot more about them. Action will also gain significant amount of influence. When word gets back to them you called, and when their grandma starts raving about you and your program at the Thanksgiving dinner. Can I offer the grandma a new oven? Can I offer them a new washing machine? What are the limits that I can do with this? I want to offer the grandma a new car. I need to know. Send the house. From the recruiting coordinator to every other coach on your staff, send every available resource you have after a prospect to gain as much influence as them as possible. This whole recruiting thing is going to be real fun, especially with the social media and the DMing the players. That's going to be so much fun. I like that a lot. That's going to be real cool. That is going to be real cool. Okay, so we got then the pitching stage. Pitch? You got soft sell and hard sell. Okay, very cool. Very cool. 20 pitches in total. Each pitch is a collection of 3 motivations, and there are 20 pitches in total. Okay. The Sunday bound pitch sells a recruit on your school being a championship contender, the conference prestige, and your school's track record, sending kids to the next level. So the big time schools, Alabama, Ohio State, all those guys. Is this saying? Oh, I thought it said something about lying. I thought you could lie about your pitch. That'd be pretty funny. Let's say the prospect's current ideal pitch is hometown hero, which includes campus lifestyle, proximity to home, and program tradition. To increase your probability of success, you would want to sway them on a pitch that also has 1 or 2 of the hometown. Okay, so very good. And then you got close the deal, I'm guessing. This is when you bring the prospect in for an official visit and attempt to leave a lasting impression with them, giving them big bags of cash, basically. They must be down to their top 5 schools. You need to have offered them a scholarship. Okay. No recruit wants to take the time to visit somewhere that won't give them a scholarship. Makes sense. A visit is broken down into 2 main parts: scheduling and activity. Okay. Well, can we like go on a bouncy castle with the recruit? Is that what activity means? Timing is everything. Yeah, you want to make sure that you get school visit when there's like a big team coming in. Yeah, it makes sense. When you play the day of the visit, who you play the day of the visit also matters. That makes sense, yeah. Finally, the other practices of visit time weekend can have positive or negative impact based on whether or not... Oh, having a quarterback and a left tackle visit at the same time will give them complimentary bonus. complimentary bonuses. Whereas scheduling 2 quarterbacks on the same day is considered a competitive visit and will negative. Oh, I was thinking more of like they're gonna talk to each other and like trash on each other and like give them talk trash to each other, but it's just negative impacts because they're both quarterbacks. Okay. Hey, coach, I'm sorry, but I decided to leave. Oh no! So this is transfer portal stuff. Over the last 3 years, the transfer portal has completely reshaped college football. That is true. While it can be used to quickly upgrade your roster, Deion Sanders, it can also gut your program if a mass players head to the exit, also Deion Sanders. Just like the recruits, players on your roster can have a deal breaker, and any recruit that has a deal breaker will keep the deal breaker. Wow, they keep it. Deal breakers can be thought of as a promise between you and the player. If you fail to uphold your end of the deal, there is a chance they leave in the offseason. I wonder if this is going to tell me my answer or answer my question of, can the player transfer multiple different times during their career? Probably the player transferring after their deal breaker has been voided or violated is driven by their overall, with higher overall players being more likely to transfer. Makes sense. Keep in mind that every action you take throughout the season potentially impact your players. Perfect example, coaching carousel. Yeah, the players might want to be stuck with the coaches. Players enter the portal. High overall players may look to go pro and enter the draft if they've been in school 3 more years. Makes sense. That's how it works. Players who are entering the pro draft will display the round they are projected to be drafted in. That's how it used to be. Once a player has decided to leave, you'll have an opportunity to persuade them to stay. Yep. The chance to successfully persuade a player to stay is determined by their overall and your coach pursuit. Higher overall players will be harder to convince than lower overall players. Pretty basic, pretty standard. However, keep in mind you only have a limited number of persuasion attempts determined by your coaching prestige. So if you're a higher coach, the more attempts you have. Also makes sense. You can increase the number of persuasion attempts you have with the Gift of Gab ability, which is in the roster retainer ability. Both of these abilities are available in the program builder archetype. See, they're giving you different things to choose your archetype. Makes sense. After advancing the week, you'll be able to see the pro draft results, which is where they got drafted. When creating pro draft results, we use real world data and pro draft trends to inform. Okay, so basically they're saying that you're not going to have a running back get drafted in the first round anymore. That's basically what they're saying. That's basically what they're saying. See, like even here, Damian Martinez got drafted in the second round, or projected to draft in the second round. That's basically what they're saying. I think it is best if you play elsewhere. Ooh, telling people to leave. Get out of here. Players have the opportunity to leave via the transfer portal. You also have the opportunity to make roster changes, so just cutting players. Every offseason, you are required to go back down to 85 players. You'll be forced to cut people, send some players to the transfer portal, and find a new home. You can still encourage players to transfer in order to make room for that. Like, go out, get out of here. It's like the Family Guy meme where you all put your hand they all put their hand in the center, but then Peter like brushes away the one guy's hand. Like, no, not you. That's kind of what I'm feeling. The transfer portal. Here we go. As we said in the beginning, one of our goals was to make the transfer portal authentically unpredictable. This begins with players leaving. Some schools may face mass exodus of players, which is going to be crazy, while others may be left untouched. Okay. Once all players have decided whether to stay or go, the transfer portal will officially open at the start of the off-season recruiting. So it only officially opens during the start of the off-season recruiting. It does not open during the season, which is one of the things that I was wondering about. Off-season recruiting lasts 4 weeks, and transfers will make their final decisions at the end of it on National Signing Day. Just like in real life, this is a chaotic 4 weeks. Their committing and rosters are rapidly changing. Players and teams will have constantly make quick decisions, limited information. Do you want to continue pursuing high school recruits? Are there transfers who can immediately improve your roster? Okay. Every transfer is given a star rating based on their overall and has a national, state, and position ranking just like high school. Since people change over time, transfers are assigned a new ideal. Okay, so the star rating that we saw in the above picture where it was showing the transfer portal, it wasn't their star rating for recruiting, it's their star rating based on what their overall is currently. Okay, that's good to know. They get a new ideal pitch and all that kind of stuff. Since 4 and 5 star prospects are the highest in demand, they know more concretely what they're looking for. They will only consider 5 schools. If you're not in their top 5, you will not be able to talk with them. Ooh, that's kind of disrespectful. but it makes sense. Regardless of where they start, process such as yada, 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 What evaluating? Okay, so none of this is actually answering the one question that I had. Don't be surprised if you finish early. I was wondering, okay. So none of it's answering the question of if a one singular player can transfer multiple different times. Signing day, just like the real world, both. Okay, so it does feature early. So I was wondering, I mentioned that it does feature both early signing day and national signing day. That's good to know. Early signing day takes place at the start of bowl season, after the regular season has been completed, and national signing day takes place 7 weeks after the national title game. On signing day, any players who have verbally committed to your school prior to signing will sign, so you can get verbal commits. Oh, that's huge. Okay. The majority of prospects will commit prior to early signing day, but some recruits may take later in the cycle. Okay. Throughout recruiting, you can view the team recruiting rankings in the top classes tab. Obviously, you want to have a top class. Any recruits who are unsigned after national signing will stick around and become walk-ons in the offseason. With that being said, the days of players who are being actively recruited, not committed anywhere, and drifting off into the ether are over. Let's go! So back in NCAA 14, if you weren't familiar, if you didn't get a recruit and you go to that final recruiting signing day and there's just a player that didn't choose anywhere, they just decided not to sign with a team or commit to a team, they just vanished, vaporized into the ether. And now that's gone. So it looks like they will end up on a team somewhere as a walk-on. That's huge. I wonder if you can, like, choose. Like, if you're actually really, really big on a prospect, but they don't choose to go anywhere, they don't choose you or they don't choose any other team, can you then choose them again as a walk-on, or are they just randomly assigned to any team in the country? That's kind of what I'm getting. With that being said, okay, no longer will you have to speculate and fantasize of what happened to them. Did they fail to get into school because of grades? Did they have a change of heart and decide to try archery instead? Was it something you said, now the team with the highest influence on signing day will get the player as long as they've offered a scholarship? That's a huge one. That's really, really big. Position changes. So this is all normal stuff that you could used to do in the old game. Player progressions, probably about normal stuff. Normal, impact, star, and elite. Those are the 4 different development traits. Ooh! Okay, so we just learned about the development traits. Very cool. Very, very cool. Which increase off-season development for players. Progression will then be further modified by the player's development trait. These players are most common. Progress rate is standard. Expect them to steadily grow over their career. Impact, so that's star, that's the silver ability. The type of players that can really change a team. They'll progress faster than normal with higher upside. Star, which is superstar, the gold ability. A potential Sunday player. There are very few of these to go around, and they'll establish themselves early and often. And then X Factor, which is elite. The best of the best. These players will make the statement the moment they get on the campus and have higher potential to be an all-time great. Ooh, I like that. Once a player is on your roster, their development trait is known and can be seen in the player card. So that's normal. When a player is a recruit, their development trait is hidden. Yeah, we knew that. Which gives you a chance to... Okay, we knew about that. Oh, look at that Quinshon Judkins. That's nice. Finally, Buckeyes getting some shine here. About time. Skill groups. So this looks like... Can I zoom in on this? Can I... hold on. Open this image in a new tab. Here we go. So, Quinshon Judkins. He's got 94 elusiveness, 94 hands, 88 IQ. His route running is only 67. That's disrespectful. He's one of the best backs in the country. He should be able to run routes too. His power is 85. His quickness is 92. He's got good toughness. He's a power running back. That's his archetype. He's got headstrong and fan favorite as his mental abilities. He's got shifty, gold sidestep, gold takeoff, gold 360, and gold recoup. Quinshon Judkins is loaded. He is absolutely loaded. And he's got 10 of these points here. I don't know what these are, but he's got 10 of them. Okay, good to know. As described in the gameplay deep dive, players can have up to 5 physical abilities and 3 mental abilities. They have 4 tiers: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. I like that they added a platinum tier. That makes it feel cool. Physical abilities are determined by the player's archetype, while mental abilities are position-specific. Okay. The player must have 95 toughness. Yeah. Impact players. Impact players are back and are a quick way to identify the key players on the team. So they'll have probably like a star underneath them like this or something. Those are the impact players. That's pretty self-explanatory, pretty normal. Managing wear and tear. Each week, players will see some of their wear and tear damage. The amount of recovery is dependent on how dependent or not. What? I can't read. The amount of recovery is dependent on how damaged the body part is. For example, let's say in the previous game your running back severely damaged his right ankle and his left shoulder was slightly damaged. The next week you can expect his shoulder to be fully recovered and his ankle to be slightly recovered. His ankle would then be something you want to monitor in the next game. Ooh. Okay. You could decide to sit him in an effort to allow him to get back to full health the following week, or you could play him at risk of increasing how long it takes for him to fully recover in an effort to ensure the players are not disappearing in big-time games late in the season. We have set a minimums that players will always recover to when advancing the week. That's huge because they I like how meta they're being with the stuff they're talking about here. A lot of it really shows that they were talking to the community, because a lot of this stuff that we complain about is what they're bringing up here, and it says that they've focused on. So I like that. I like that a lot. So you can manage. What the heck is manager? You can monitor your player's wear and tear damage by viewing the health tab in their player card. Okay, so that's kind of where we were at the player card with Quinshon Judkins. This is just for Donovan Edwards. One of the biggest changes we faced developed was the task of recreating everything that makes college football unique. Unlike most professional sports, college football buzz. A new day in college football. This is talking about the 12-team playoff. I don't like that they made Oregon win the championship. Why not? You have Ohio State in there. Why not just give Ohio State the win? That seems pretty easy. I do like that Michigan lost in the first round. That makes me happy. College during development, members of the team, yada, yada, yada. While media coaches poll run throughout the season, you'll need to wait for the calendar to turn November before. That's usually what happens anyway in real life. So I like that they waited. So you don't know about the college football playoff rankings until November, which is how it normally is. I wonder, so is it going to be like real life where the coaching poll and media polls mean nothing the entire season? It's really only until you get to November when the college football playoff rankings come out. That's what really matters. I wonder if that's how it's going to be in the game too. Unique logic for the playoff poll model. How we anticipate the rankings to look in the new format. Generating a believable opinion-based poll is no easy feat. Understandable. Especially one where we're projecting what may happen in real results position. You are what your record says you are is a misnomer in college football. So factors like school and conference. So you're not going to basically, because one of the big criticisms that I have with the old college football games is that 3 or 4 years down the road, or maybe even like a year down the road, after you get through one season of Dynasty mode, you start to see, especially this happened with Ohio State, but it usually happens with Alabama, Georgia. A lot of the big teams in those old games would start to suck, like really, really bad. And you would get teams like Air Force, and you would get teams like Illinois and UMass, and all these like teams that are garbage. You would get them in the top 5 of your rankings, and sometimes even in the national championship game, like 5 or 6 years down the line. Not even that. Sometimes, like 2 years down the line. And all of the big teams, all of the massive Power 5 schools, the top schools, they would all suck. Which is, it was like such a weird thing. I don't know why that would happen that way. But it looks like that's what they're targeting and try to make that not happen anymore. I mean, sometimes you'll get a UCF or a Cincinnati that makes some noise every other season or once in a while. But for the most part, it's going to be Ohio State. It's going to be Georgia. It's going to be Alabama, Texas, LSU. All these teams that are in the top, Oregon. All these teams that are in the top are going to be in the top for the most of the time because that's just what they are. So that seems like it is. They're going to look at that, which is nice. Now it's time to see the bracket. As many people reading this already know, the 12-team format is a 5+7 model, which means you get the 5 conference champions plus 7 other teams. Meaning the 5 highest ranked conference champions will get automatically berthed. Then the remaining 7 spots will fill by order of the CFP. The only way to get a first round bye is to be one of the 4 highest ranked conference champions. So an undefeated Notre Dame or any other independent, as well as the winner of the Pac-12. There's only 2 teams in the Pac-12. Oh, that's funny that they put Notre Dame in there too. Join the conference, Notre Dame. They can only be seeded No higher than the 5th, and will never be eligible to skip the first round. Oh my God, Notre Dame can never, unless they join a conference, Notre Dame can never be higher than the 5th seed and never get a first round bye. That's crazy. The 5th automatic qualifier that did not get a first round bye will be seeded based on where they rank in the final. I like the playoff. That's pretty cool. Hosting home playoff games. Let's go. The playoff quarterfinal and semifinal games will take place at the Bowls, the New Year's Six. But you get home playoff games for the first round. That's huge. Orange, Sugar, Rose, Fiesta, Cotton, and Peach, which rotate annually. That's good to know. And the National Championship game has its own set of rotation, starting with Mercedes-Benz. We'll rotate additional. Is it going to tell me? Oh, it's not going to tell me. Okay. In addition, we'll have 34 bowl games using their real-world bowl tie-ins. R plus L Carriers. No, I don't even know what R plus L Carriers is. New Orleans Bowl will annually feature teams from the Sun Belt and the Conference USA. The Trans Perfect Music City Bowl. What are these names? Feature SEC and Big Ten teams. When did the Music City Bowl ever feature SEC and Big Ten teams? Maybe it has always. I don't know. I don't watch the Music City Bowl, so I don't know. Just like the bracket, you'll get bowl projections. Meet your new neighbor. Oh, this is the new relocation or realignment. So you get experience the new reality of college football. So here is the good old-fashioned Big Ten with USC, Oregon, and UCLA in here, which is just still wild to look at. Every conference is set with their 2024 alignment. The Sun Belt is the last conference to feature divisions, and scheduling logic has been set for both the current season as well as future year rotation based on conference rules set. SEC will accurately follow the 8-game with one protected opponent rotation, while the Big Ten will utilize their 9-game flex protect model, and so on. Is the SEC also going to have schedules where their big teams play crappy bum teams in November? Is that also going to be a possibility? If you need a refresher of who's where, you're looking to follow in the conference races, you can keep an eye on everything in the conference standing screen. Be your own commissioner. If you prefer to reset it, I don't know why you would want to, or maybe for a video, or just blow everything up and make it whatever conference membership you want. I like that. You have the power to be the czar of college football. That's cool. And set things how you like them in custom conferences. So they put Florida State in the Big Ten. Okay, that's kind of wild. I'd probably take Rutgers and Illinois and Minnesota and all these bum teams, Nebraska, Michigan, take them all out of the Big Ten because they're bum teams. That's probably what I'd do, especially Michigan because they're a bum. You can reduce any conference to as few as 4 members or grow any conference to as large as 20 members. Or schools, but I said members. In a difference moving schools to different conferences, you can have school go independent, but they can't, obviously, if you're an independent school, you can't go higher than the 5th seed. You also have the ability to edit each conference's rules. You'll be able to make adjustments to conference memberships. Let's talk schedules. College football, how much more do I have? My God, this is like an hour-and-a-half video. College football is unlike any sport in that so many of the weeks of the season means something special. It's the 3rd Saturday of October. Tennessee better be playing Alabama. If it's Thanksgiving weekend, the Iron Bowl, the game, the big game. What the heck is the big game? It's the game. Florida State, Florida, and a host of other rivalry games better be on the table next to the Turkey and Stuffing Dynasty mode scheduling. So it looks like they will always have rivalry week at the end of the season, which I think is always what it was anyway. For non-conference games, we included as many real-world games as announced. So when you get to 2027 and 28, the Florida State-Georgia home-and-home series will be scheduled. I wonder if do they have Ohio State-Alabama? Because that's on the schedule. I wonder if they've got that. In 2029 and 30, Notre Dame-Alabama home-and-home. Our schedule generator will be used to fill out everyone's schedule to make sure that every school has 12 games for all 30 years of the Dynasty. Kickoff games like Duke's Mayo Classic, and the Vegas Classic. Okay, so those are all there. In a recent edition of the World College Bowl is the concept of Week 0, where they go overseas. And nobody cares about Week 0. While the season still kicks off on Labor Day weekend for the majority of schools, some get things started a week prior in what has been effectively termed Week 0. The authentic Week 0 games are scheduled for Year 1, so like Nebraska's going overseas, or Northwestern, whatever, whoever's going overseas. And in your future years, Week 0 will get utilized. However, the bulk of schools will still get put toe to leather for the first time in the okay, so it's probably going to be pretty rare that you get picked for Week 0. So here's the whole week schedule, and you're obviously going to have full customization of the schedule and who you want to play, except for obviously conference games, like it has normally been. the crowd themes that our friends in presentation talked about recently appearing in Dynasty. If your school does a whiteout, blackout, or checkerboard stripe, yada yada yada, you will see those crowd. Oh, does it show that here? And the first home game of the season, rivalry game, it doesn't show that though, does it? It doesn't say that this game specifically is going to be a whiteout game. At least I don't see that anywhere. I don't know. Set your schedule. You can customize your schedule like you'd be able to. Conference games are designated with a lock icon. That's the same as usual. Bye week, yada, yada, yada. You can only have a max of 12 games, so you'll need to remove a game before trying to add a new one. When you select a week, you'll be able to opponents choose from. So it's basically the same as it always has been. Team Builder and Online Dynasty. Team Builder is back. You can import up to 16 Team Builder teams in private Online Dynasty. The commissioner will need to replace existing FBS schools, so Michigan, with the Team Builder teams that they want to add when setting up the Dynasty, including Team Builder schools is only available at the creation of the league. Okay, so you only have one shot at getting your teams in there. To burn a shirt or not to burn a shirt. Okay, what's this? The changes of the World Cup have not been off the field. Having red shirts, have also been... Ooh, so we're going to get some changes to red shirting. Keep in mind, each preseason you'll have the option to selecting which players you for sure want to redshirt, and during the course of the season, you can monitor how many games each player has played. So I think you only get 4 in real life before you have to redshirt, or fully redshirt. Each game players played in order to make the determination on when you keep the player, keeping that player, or have them sit the remainder of the season. Those 4 games can be played at any point in the season, so you can get a freshman some game reps. That's so big! They added that in. I love that, man. That's so good. You can play a freshman that you have redshirted for 4 games, but then you can decide the redshirt. That's so good. I love that. Once a player has played in their 5th game of the season, they are no longer eligible for the redshirt for that year, but eligible for redshirt the following year. If your micromanaging redshirt is not your thing, no worries at all. Anyone who's eligible for redshirt at the end of the season will have it automatically applied. Earning some hardware. Are they going to keep track of stuff like this? College football, I think they kept track of it before. Celebrate accomplishments, whether it's reclaiming a 100-year water jug from a rival, like the Michigan-Minnesota game. Stupid Michigan fights for a water jug. Hosting up the SEC title in Atlanta. Most outstanding player in college football. Striking the Heisman pose. Rivalry trophies will be on the line. Winner of each contest takes home both the trophy and the bragging rights. Conference Bowl, yada, yada, yada. So it looks like they're going to have the 2024 Heisman Trophy. Ollie Gordon. Is Ollie Gordon going to be a real Heisman contender this year? Quinshon's in there, though. Love to see that. When it comes to individual awards, I know that a lot of the awards, the names aren't in there. I know the Heisman is, obviously, because it's right here. But I think like the Mackey and the Bolitnikoff and all those awards, I don't think those are in there. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought I heard that somewhere. The Heisman Memorial Trophy, which is awarded to the best player, keeps tabs. Yep, this is just like normal. In addition to the Heisman, so they did add some actual names. So the Lou Groza, the Lombardi, and the Unitas Golden Arm Award are in there. But they didn't name like the Bolitnikoff, so maybe the Bolitnikoff's not in here. I don't know. But they do have some actual award names, so that's kind of cool. And they've got All-Americans and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got records are made to be broken. No career mode would be complete without tracking player stats. And I love tracking stats, man. Season stats track for player stats for the current season, while team stats, career stats tracking player stats for the entirety of their collegiate career. Coach stats track the lifetime accomplishment of coaches and also serve as a way to look at the coach's current job security. Record books cover player records on the career, season, and game level. So that's like normal. Play for pride and stickers. Oh my God. Yes. For certain schools like Ohio State with the Buckeye leaves and Florida State with their stupid little hammer things, whatever they have, are applied to individual players' helmets over the course of the season. Are as iconic. Each season the helmets start fresh, and over the course of the season, based on each player's performance, it updates. I think it did that before, but they never really focused on it. Oh, love it. Will Howard in the Buckeye jersey. Gets me hard. We work with each school to understand their fill pattern to make sure the stickers are being applied over the course of the season. I love that so much. That might be my most hyped thing. I love that. So what? Okay, we're finally at the end. My God. No Dynasty Deep Dive is complete without the utility feature modes. So you got both online and offline Dynasty, can go up to 30 seasons, up to 32 users in the Dynasty, offline or online. Only one user per school makes sense, obviously. Why would you have more than that? Commissioner is in charge of determining the settings for the Dynasty. Makes sense. Keep track of everyone's status in the member screen. Commissioner status can be transferred from the member screen as well, so you can change who's the commissioner. That's a pretty good little thing. Commissioners will have the ability to force a win. Okay, so it's all basic stuff that you would expect in the online Dynasty stuff. And the final thing is the post-game speech. Congratulations if you made it this far in the blog. Standing at nearly 17,000 words and 85 pages, this blog has a reputation of passion. Yes, level of dedication and commitment and passion is what makes the proud part of it. The entire team is do whatever it takes mentality. Like we said at the end of the day, everything centered around satisfy the core community because this is their game. Our entire best buzz. With that being said, we will see you again soon for the next deep dive. I don't know if I can handle another deep dive. Okay, so that is going to wrap it up. It's almost 2 hours of content here in this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't even know how to recap that. So much content was just talked about today that I need to take a breather and I need to just let it all marinate. I need to let it all process because I don't even freaking know what just happened. So all I got to say is I am so excited for this video game to come out. And we are on the right path. It is very close to coming out. It is the 16th, July 16th for early access, July 19th for the full worldwide release. I already have it pre-ordered. I'm waiting for the countdown to finish so we can do our potential midnight drop live stream. So be ready for that. And I am so ready to lose sleep by creating these videos and pumping out so much content that you guys won't even be able to breathe. My God, I am so excited for this video game. I cannot wait. Hope you guys enjoy this. I know this is a massive video, but there was just so much to cover, so much to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said before, I will have the trailer linked in the description, and I will have the blog post linked in the description, so you can just go into there and click it and read for yourself or watch for yourself and get all this information, the stuff that I didn't actually read in depth here because I was trying to make it a little bit faster. You can go and do that for yourself and go into a true deep dive. So I don't know. I need to process everything I just learned. It's crazy. I'm excited. I cannot wait. I know you guys are too. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the G's Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.